Oh god.
We're going live. Just say it, BMOC.
No, I was just gonna say I checked and made sure that the link worked. That's all.
All right. Well, I believe we're live.
Yeah,
I don't
live,
know
yes.
about.
I see it live on YouTube. There it is.
All right, cool, man. Well, we're up, and let's get
Crazy
right
day,
into
Drew,
it.
huh? Crazy day.
It's a crazy day, dude. It's getting about football season. We got rain in the forecast here in Costa Rica. It's rainy season here, so it rains almost every day. How's life at the beach?
Oh, it's great. My parents just got here, unfortunately, but they're only here for a day or two. Just my mother and father, so they're cool though. They're drinking and doing their thing. So life is fun. Life is good, dude.
Is that a good thing that your parents are in, or a bad thing?
Yeah, no, it's a good thing. I don't see my parents that much. I mean, they work a lot. They're busy, so it's good to see them. I like being here with them alone. My sister comes, my brother comes. It's a whole ton of people here. But yeah, I mean, we go to dinner. I don't see them that much, so yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. When it's my parents, I love it. It's great. But if you get like all the brothers and sisters, then it's kind of like, all right, one day is cool, and then
And I've always
after
been
that,
very like into being like I always wanted to be an only child. Like I love my brother and sister, but it's like I'm very like when I'm here with them, it's cool. I don't gotta. My sister's like always got to be the center of attention. That's how she is. But we're all pretty boisterous, so it's loud. And when they're here, it's nice to just because Drew. The thing is, like, we have jet skis and stuff, so it's like when it's just us three, my mother can ride with my father, and then we'll go to the beachside bars and things like that. When you have 3 or 4 or 5 people, it gets a little difficult. So. Nice.
Yeah, but overall, your parents are people like you like to hang out with. They're not always.
Oh, sure. Yeah, my parents are great. They're they're like any other parents, but they're cool. They're hip people. They're cool. So they're a lot like me. So if you like me, you like them. If you don't like me, you won't like them. So pretty much.
All right, nice, man. Hey, about that, your late night on campus last night. When you had that girl call in, have you guys done that before?
No, it was a random thing. I don't know who it was. It was. I mentioned I was taking calls. We got Zach called in, and then we had just this random prank call in, and I don't know who it was. It was funny though, for sure. I don't know who it was.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know who that was.
I was at a bar here in Costa Rica, like a sports bar, just listening to you guys on headphones because I can't talk to anybody. Everybody only speaks Spanish. So it was hilarious on the live chat. It was awesome, man.
It definitely was. Yeah, we had no preparation for that. It was just random, and we didn't expect them to call. So yeah, it was funny for sure.
All right. Well, we're supposed to be talking Mountain West football, Mountain Division, and we're doing it live here. We usually don't. So if you want to chime in on the live box, feel free.
Yeah, it's our last piece. It's our last G5 conference. So we went through everyone: Sun Belt, MAC, AC, Conference USA, all of them. So this is the last one, Drew.
I mean, it's a good one, especially quarterback-wise, man. There's some good quarterbacks in this division here. And especially the top 3 teams. We got Colorado State, Wyoming, Boise State. I think you can pick any 3 of those to win this division. What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely a division up in the air. I think the one we talked about last night, which you should be posted, probably tonight, I would think. I think you have a clear-cut favorite in that side of the division with San Diego State. Hawaii will be better, but yeah, I mean, I think this is really up in the air. I actually will throw another surprise team in there as well, which we'll get to. I think other than like all these teams are pretty decent. I mean, all 1 to 6 are going to win some games. But yeah, it's pretty open for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Who's the worst team in this division? They're not bad. Whoever you pick, maybe Utah State. I don't know.
Yeah, Utah State's the worst, but you look at the difference in side of conference between this and the other side. I mean, San Jose's bad. UNLV's not very good. There are some bad teams on that side, but yeah, this one is 1 to 6, pretty solid.
Well, where do you want to start?
We can start wherever you want, brother. Don't matter to me.
We got Armin in the house. What's up, Armin?
Armin, what's up?
Do you know Armin?
I do. He's in. I mean, I don't know any. I've never met any of these guys just because I wasn't at IPC. But yeah, he listens to our show. He's actually in our fantasy league. We have a fantasy league going. It's actually going to be pretty fun. It's me, Donnie, Ian, Armin, a couple other listeners. The only reason we didn't get you guys in because you were in Vegas and we didn't think you'd be home in time for the draft. But yeah, it's I know Armin well, sure.
I think Matt sent me a link. I don't know.
I think they're doing their own. Mine's for like we came up with a league and we have an amount we're playing for and yeah, I think Matt's doing his own like a regular league on his own. I don't know.
Oh well, thanks for the invite, big man. I see how it goes.
No, we wanted all yous in, but yous were both in Vegas. Matt didn't get back. Matt gets back to me like 2 days later. He's like, "Yeah, I think we already started one." So I was like, "Okay."
All right, we're going chat right here. BMOC. Jeff is asking Hawaii versus UMass. Go go go. Bet Hawaii.
Yeah, he's been asking about that, Jeff. We talked about it yesterday. People have asked me about this game for weeks on end, and I'll say it again. The line just doesn't make any sense. It's hard for me to get involved with it. It really is. Do I think Hawaii is the better team? Yeah, I do. You're not going to tell me that they're not. There are several red flags, though, one of which is the travel schedule. B, the line itself. C, the fact that I think we all anoint Hawaii as a good football team, but they're really not. I mean, they're solid. Are they going to win this conference? No. Are they going to be second this conference? No. Are they going to be average? Yeah. And look, I mean, we can say UMass is bad, which they are. Defensively, they're an absolute mess. But offensively, I don't know that they're going to have trouble scoring. I've said to you, this reminds me a lot last year of Ohio, Texas State. First game of the year. Ohio was the better team, surely. The line was the same as this one. Didn't really make a lot of sense. You had a bad defensive team, a team that couldn't score in Texas State, but it was just one of those wild football games, 41-38. I think that ended up being like 54-53 or something. I'm actually going to forgo the game. I do think UMass I don't think they're going to win the game, but the line just doesn't make sense. I think the over is the play. Over 62. I would go anything under the 65 mark. I think both these teams won't have much trouble scoring. I don't see much to put up from either defense either. I think this is a pretty high-scoring game. I think it's like 35, 31, 38, 35, something like that. I think it'll be right around the number, but, we could all look really smart or really stupid here. I also think, Drew, that I've said to you, I think a lot of us will bet this game, but in the grand scheme of things, is the casual better betting this game? I don't think they know anything about either team. We look at one game last year on their schedule, Hawaii, and say they're going to win this game easily. When you kind of peel back the onion, weeks ago, it looked like the smart play. But right now, I'm going to stay away from the side. Total for me here.
Okay, a couple aspects of what you just said, big man. I just interviewed Matt Holt on the fight, and one of my questions was, how much extra handle are you expecting on the 4 boarded college football games going on Saturday because of the extra, fanfare and betting with the boxing match? And he said it's going to be maybe 4 or 5-fold more money on that game on game day. So their risk in this game, it's interesting as far as what the line's doing is probably actually going to be affected by a bunch of $100 and $200 bets of people walking into the sports book and betting on the Hawaii UMass game, because it's it's the game where the line is only 2 right now, I believe.
Here's what you're going to have, Drew. You're going to have a lot of people that don't want to lay 450 with Floyd Mayweather, and they're going to parlay it with Hawaii. That's normally what you're going to do here, because it's the one game on the card where it is basically a coin flip. I guess you could say Oregon State, Colorado State is, probably a little bit closer, people might think, but do you really have I have a pick in that game, but the other 2 games are 21-point favorites and 30.5-point favorites. So I think you're going to have a lot of parlays, I think there's going to be a situation where Mayweather will win. Not a lot of people will end up winning their bets, though, because they're going to tie it into games like this or a baseball game or something like that. It's going to be a really interesting game. There's only 5 games on the card, and this is the one with the most intrigue, I think, for a lot of people. I have a weird feeling that Hawaii is going to be in a dogfight here to the end.
Well, yeah, and the line's saying that, but
exactly.
I think it also has something to do with people coming in looking at Hawaii's record on the mainland. Obviously, it's not good. I believe they lost every game on the mainland last year.
And we actually went over Hawaii last night in our breakdown of the the other side of this division. And look, I mean, you look overall at their schedule last year. I mean, look, I mean, they got crushed in a lot of football games, obviously against better teams. But we look at that last game and when they beat Middle Tennessee, and we were so impressed. But at the end of the day, it was on the mainland of Hawaii, Middle Tennessee. That was a sheer situation, Drew, where you have kids from the deep south or the Tennessee area going out to a tropical location, and they lost the gas kind of went dry towards the end of the third quarter, and they ended up getting crushed. As far as this game, it's a stay away. There's way too many red flags in this game. For me, over the total, I think this is a back-and-forth affair, and it's pretty high scoring, 38-35, 38, 41-38, something like that.
Yeah, I could see that happen. And actually, I don't think they did lose every game. I think they beat San Jose State last year.
No, I mean, honestly, against teams on the mainland. I think there might have been one, and I think you're right. San Jose State was, I believe, the one, or maybe.
Did they beat Air Force last year?
They did in overtime. That's a good point. They went into Air Force and won.
So I mean, that's impressive, and not to mention, it's not apples to apples. You know, last year they did. It's not like they got there like they're getting there this year. You know, they got there on Tuesday night. It's not the same thing as getting there late on Thursday, playing a Saturday game. They get 2 extra days to get acclimated. I like that. I don't think that's being accounted for in the betting.
Here's another issue that we have. The line movement is not in line with the game itself. This line, when it opened, it was set. Why was it ever open at 1.5? I mean, the line from the beginning didn't make any sense. And now you have all the money in Hawaii, but the line's going up for UMass. It's similar to a baseball game. When you have, a team like, I don't know, let's say the Indians are playing the Padres. You have a clear advantage. The Indians are a better team than their pitcher. All the money's on the Indians, but the line goes down to 134. It doesn't make sense. All the other games, you look at South Florida. The big question I had on South Florida was, I love them at 21 and a half. I think they're going to win by 30. The question I had was this line going to go down? And it hasn't. It's went up. It suits where I'm looking, and it makes sense. I don't mind laying 22. I don't mind laying 24. Does the line move make sense? This is the one game that it doesn't.
Well, and what do you mean by percent? I'm showing it on SBR that it's about 50-50.
As far as which one?
The percent of
Hawaii UMass?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily talking about who's betting the game. I'm saying when this line opened, why was it ever opened at 1.5 for UMass?
Probably because Hawaii is an 8-point favorite, and they shade it 7 because Hawaii's playing on the mainland.
But again, I have 99% of the money, and again, I'm probably looking at a different one than you are. I just find it really hard to believe that people are betting UMass here. I think the only people that are betting this are sharps. They're the only ones betting UMass. The public is betting Hawaii here. There's no way. Do you really think the public's betting UMass here, Drew?
I don't know. I really don't. I don't know who the fuck would bet Hawaii. What Hawaii on the mainland? That seems like a not sharp play.
But that goes more towards what I was saying before. I don't know that there's that many people betting this game. I don't think the handle is going to be particularly high on this game. I just don't. I think there's a lot of other things going on. People are still involved with baseball heavily. You got the fight. You got the real college football season starting next week. I think this is pretty low, honestly, on the total poll, but we'll see.
We got Carmen in the chat box. He's saying he lives in Albuquerque. Any New Mexico questions? He's got us covered.
Yeah, we'll break it down. I'm very high on the Lobos this year. So I'm looking.
You like Bob Davie?
Yeah, I do. I like this group. Do you want to start with them? We can start with them.
Might as well, yeah.
Yeah, I really like this New Mexico side this year. They have no more 2 quarterback system, which is something that they've used for a number of years. This is Lamar Jordan's team. Lamar Jordan is very much a poor man's Lamar Jackson. Very good football player. But again, he plays for New Mexico. But he's a good kid, good player. They have a good running back in Tyron Owens. Drew, they were the number 1 rushing offense in the country last year over everyone. They love to run the football, and they're very effective at doing it. Look out for a kid, Drew, a very familiar last name, Colton Gerhart, brother of Toby, a bulldozer of a kid that's really going to really grade, really kind of run downhill, really kind of good feature back with Tyrone Owens. Defensively is going to be the question mark, Drew. Can they keep up and stop the pass? I mean, they had no problems. They were decent against the run, but against the pass, that's what you kind of have to be able to stop. And they brought in some junior college transfers that I think is going to help kind of rebuild their defense a little bit. Overall, though, their defense has really improved. They drew from 516 yards, only giving up 395 last year. So they really did a good job of cutting it down. Kevin Cosgrove came in, really kind of fixed his defense right away. And, you look at their schedule. I mean, early on, I think they're pretty favorable. I think Abilene Christian, New Mexico State, they'll beat Tulsa. I think they go 3-1 to start the season. Their win total's at 5.5. I got to be honest. I think they're a bowl team. I think they're going to make a bowl. They made one last year. I don't see any reason they don't this year. I think their offense is going to be pretty good and tough to stop.
So the other quarterback, he graduated, right?
No, Lamar Jordan's been their quarterback. He was the quarterback last year for most of the year.
The other kid. Yeah, Lamar Jordan, he's good. I agree with you. He
but
he can improve passing, but
sure. He's definitely more of a, when you say a dual threat, he's more of a running quarterback. He's not going to throw a ton, and they don't throw a ton. I mean, they run the football a lot. One thing we have to point out, Drew, they average 9.9 rushes of 10 yards or more a game. That's the most in the NCAA. That's heavy hitting, big run plays, really setting themselves up. They're a tough team to scheme for, and they're going to run you to death.
Yeah, they lost to New Mexico State last year, though.
It's not going to happen this year, and that's kind of one reason I like, them to win some games this year that I don't think they're going to lose this year. I don't think they're going to lose to Rutgers. I don't think they're going to lose to New Mexico State. I think they're a little bit more for real this year, and I think it's, only going to help their bowl chances.
Yeah, I like New Mexico there in Albuquerque. Bob Davies done a great job. I love their offense. It's a really fun team to watch too. Let's hit the chat box a little bit, big man. We got Carmen saying, "How do we feel about Mayweather win by decision plus 250?" I know how you feel.
I don't like that bet. I don't think it's going to go to decision. I mean, we've talked about it. I mean, I don't think Conor is going to last to the final round. I think this is a really good fight to set up to Floyd to knock Conor out. I think it's going to be 7th or 8th round. I would be real surprised if Conor got to the end. I mean, it's, we can discuss Floyd's age, which clearly he's older. But I remember this fight reminds me a lot of when Floyd fought Ricky Hatton. And I know we got to throw out the stuff about Conor not being a boxer. We're all aware of that. But from a sheer standpoint of just a guy that rushes a fighter, that's what Ricky Hatton did. Ricky was a guy that really just, even getting hit, he just rushed him. He was a brawler. That's what Conor's going to do. And it'll work. It might work for a couple of rounds. You might hit him with a couple shots. But at the end of the day, he's going to tire out. He's going to leave himself vulnerable to get hit. And that's exactly what happened with Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton was the last true knockout Floyd Mayweather had. We also have to remember that Conor doesn't know the rules. I mean, he's never really fought at this level. So the rules he might do things that normal boxers wouldn't do just because he might not be as keen on rules. And if you remember the Victor Ortiz knockout that a lot of people were up in arms about, it was a legal hit. The whistle had blown. Victor Ortiz kept his hands down and got tagged. You have to be accountable in a boxing. Keep your hands up. Don't drop them. And you got to know the rules. That could be something. Floyd is giving his life to this. And I heard Andreas Hale. I thought Andreas Hale broke this fight down absolutely perfect earlier. I'm a big fan of his. We've had him on our show. I mean, he does a really good job. And I think wholeheartedly exactly what he said. I think this is going to how this fight's going to go. I just don't think it's a good matchup for Conor. Conor may as well he might beat Paulie. He might beat other fighters. But Floyd's been around this block before. No, I would take him by inside the distance. You can get it around 150 at 5 times. I don't think this is going to go the distance.
Okay. Yeah, so that Hale video is on SBR Picks?
It is. Yeah, he does a great job, Andreas. He really – and, I like his opinion because, the problem about this fight, Drew, is the MMA guys are so obsessed with growing their brand that they won't give you a feasible breakdown of the fight. It's Connor or nothing. Boxing guys are the same way. I like Andreas because he is fairly neutral. He is going to give you his true sense, and that's how I do it. I don't obviously love boxing a lot more, but if I thought Connor could win, I would say I think he can win. I don't think he can win, and that's what I like about Andreas. He gives you a good point of view from both, and he follows both wholeheartedly, so it works.
Okay. Jeff saying he went with Mayweather in decision minus 160. Vig saying he opened up a Heritage account to bet on this game exclusively, and they're calling him every day. Man, I don't know about that. Armin, who else we got here? What's your best college football play week 1?
Like this week coming up?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I haven't finalized it yet, but I'm going to have something. Listen, I want to let everyone know, and this is something that I'm going to point out right now. Saturday morning, I'm going to be on with Peter Loshak, 11 o'clock Eastern. We're going to finalize the card. We'll break down each game. I promise all of you, the plays, we'll have some plays out. Again, we have to remember there's only 5 games on the card this weekend. This is where you really have to watch yourself. 1 or 2 plays is adequate. Though I'll give a play for each game. We'll get to that. But this video is the last of which where we're previewing the game. And again, we actually broke down the Hawaii one last night, and we're going to break them all down. So have no fear, guys. We'll break them down.
I like Hawaii. I think that their travel situation.
I'm not gonna try and sell you up a river that I think UMass can win. I don't think on paper they're very good. I've said that before, but it's sometimes you have to be smart enough to say something's not right here. Sometimes a girl, for instance, like you could find a woman that's beautiful, like she's gorgeous, but at the end of the day, she might just be a little crazy. And sometimes you have to take one for the team and say, look, I really want to do this, but I can't. It's just not my blood, It's sometimes you just got to go with your gut. And my gut, since I saw this line, it just didn't make sense. I think we all looked at it and said, wow, 4 or 5 weeks ago, we looked at it when it first got out and said, I'm on that one. But as things move and as things do, and that's the thing about being a handicapper, you have to be good with kind of fixing things when things don't go right. You got to look to kind of listen to other opinions and be able to tailor your game a little bit. And that's what I've been through it all with this game. I feel like I've looked at it so much and I just don't really, I feel weird about it. I can't do it. Over for me. Over.
Okay. As far as your girl situation, I mean, if you're really into her, there's a couple situations where you could make it work if she's crazy. One would be if you live in different places, I would say go for it because you're not going to have to deal with the craziness as much.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, but there's a whole lot of women that aren't crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah. I might as well just go after those ones just because, if I'm going to give a girl which I don't do really often, obviously I like to give my time to other things, but I'm not going to give a nut time. I mean, there's plenty. And I know because in South Philadelphia, the women are fucking crazy. They're nuts. They're the craziest women on earth. So, sometimes you have to just move on, Drew.
What are they into that I guess other girls in the U.S.
They're a special kind of woman, and it's kind of like New York, Jersey, everywhere. I'm a fan of a woman that is bitchy. I almost like it. It's sexy to me. Unfortunately, up here, like a lot of the chicks are really well done up, and like you have to like really give them anything, like everything they want. Like if they want this and that, and they're really high maintenance, and that's no one will tell you any different. They're not the homegrown, girl next door like maybe you might be used to or others might be used to. They're bitchy. They want it now. And it's not like me. I mean, I'm pretty much, I want stuff now. I don't want to wait. Give me it now. And that's how it is. But it's just how it is. I can't really explain it, but like a really good idea is like, if you've ever seen the show Jersey Shore, I think that's one really, that's how people are here. I mean, that's not made up. It's not fake at all. That's how people really act. Like my ex-girlfriend, I dated her for 3 years. She was just like that. She went tanning twice a day. We lived that life pretty much, back in the day. And those girls are really like that. And you have to be thick-skinned and kind of take shit from girls, and that's how it goes. But, girls in the East Coast in this area, a lot of them are high maintenance. They want it now.
I'll take your word for it. I've never dated a girl from that area of the country. I don't know, just not.
But there's just something really like sexy about a girl that, you know, has that accent. You know, they got the dark features, the black hair. You know, they're really tan. You know, there's just something about that I go for, or just done up really well. There's nothing better than that to me. I don't want it. I need if I have to. I remember, Drew. I had a girl I dated, the one I'm telling you about. She would not go out in public with me if I didn't gel my hair. Like I gel my hair, and she wouldn't go out with me. Like if my hair was not spiked and done up, she would not go out with me. Like, you know. But they're high maintenance, man. They want it now, like I said. But.
Well, damn, we got I guess we're talking about girls. We can move on to we'll get back to that. I guess a team though where there probably isn't many girls. These guys don't see many girls. Air Force Falcons.
Yeah, no, I don't know that they see a lot. Right.
Yeah, one. It's in they're in Colorado Springs, Colorado. It's cold. Girls wear a lot of clothes, I'm guessing, up there. Yeah, but yeah.
No, I do like UGG boots. That's kind of cool, you know. Some UGG boots, maybe yoga pants. Nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. I actually, living down here in Costa Rica, one thing I miss is seeing girls in cowboy boots because, you know, in the South around Atlanta and college football.
Yeah, I can't get into that, man. That's not. I would definitely turn it like I don't care how hot a chick is. Like if she's not my type, I turn her away. Like I just can't get into that. Like I'm not into that country stuff. Like I'm not. I can't do
All right,
it.
so Carrie Underwood comes up to you and he's like, "Oh, big man, I'm really into you. What are you saying?"
I would definitely have sex with her, but I'm not like gonna wife her up or nothing. Like that's not. I don't. It doesn't matter how attractive a woman is. If you can't see yourself with her, she's not your type. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having sex with her, you know, for an hour or two, but I don't want to wake up next to her. No, she's not my type.
Well, if you go, you know, you just say like when guys just say one time, I always think like, why not make it 2 times or 5 times?
Oh, sure. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a regular for sure, but you know, at some point, you know, I'm getting older. You know, you're, you know, a little different, but you know, at some point, you want to find. And most chicks are annoying as fuck, Drew. Like they're annoying, they're whiny, and I just don't want to deal with it. So it's like you do your thing, I'll do mine. If I want to call you, I'll call you. You know, or vice versa. But yeah, no, I mean, she's a beautiful woman for sure, but you know, I can't sell myself out that I'm into something that I'm not. Like I don't like broccoli, so I don't eat it. You know, I just don't. I just stay away from it. You know.
Okay. Well, we got Alex saying Hawaii, too many Cali boys, winner. Possibly, I guess.
Not sure what that has to do with anything, right?
Yeah, he's also saying buy a hooker. You could always do that, I guess.
I mean, maybe that's your kind of thing, bro. I mean, I'm not into that, but you know, I feel like if I'm gonna, why pay for that? I mean, you could just watch porn and have a similar outcome. I mean, you didn't lose $100 or $200. You know, I don't think I've ever paid for it. I don't know that I ever will. It's all about charm. Doesn't matter what you look like. Charm, personality, pockets help as well sometimes. You know, if you take a girl out to dinner, it's a little different. But it's all about charm, Drew, personality.
Well, you're paying for it in one fashion or another, right?
You are, but it's a whole lot cheaper than what most high-end good hookers would cost. Most hookers are going to cost you a lot of money. The ones that you want to get with, not
in America. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. Look, I mean, if a hooker wants $80, she's not good. You don't want to get anywhere near her. But if she comes to you, she says, "Look, give me $1,000 for a night," that's a high-quality hooker.
Yeah, $1,000. That better be a good night. Jeff saying North American girls are built like dudes. Jeff, I'll tell you this. Like I ride an Uber to work every day, and I always try to ask the Uber driver because none of them speak English, so I only know a little bit of Spanish. And one of my questions is always like, how would you rate the girls here? Because there's a lot of Venezuelan girls in Costa Rica. There's a lot of Colombian girls in Costa Rica. And there's obviously a lot of Costa Rican girls here. And they'll always say like, you know, Venezuela 1, usually it's Venezuela 1, Cynthia chiming in, Colombia 2, Costa Rica 3. And it's just, they always refer to American girls as like, being built like dudes, kind of like they'll always say like not into them as much. So
yeah, I mean, I guess it's all like what you're into. Like, you know, if you like it really depends. If you like petite, chicks like that, okay, maybe, but I like for me, I preferably want like a curvier chick, an hourglass figure, where like you know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
if that's built like a dude, I don't know how that'd be built like a dude, but yeah, I don't know what he means by that, but yeah, look, the Latin chicks are where it's at, man. I mean, you're not gonna have any argument from me there.
Yeah, no, me neither. But yeah, Jeff, feel free to chime in what you meant by that. Cynthia, damn, play on, playa. Yeah, we probably need to change the title of this video to Mountain West plus a little other things. But let's talk about Air Force. Probably not many girls at the Air Force Academy. Last year went 10-3. Troy Calhoun in his 11th year here. They start off with VMI, then got a bye, then head to Ann Arbor to play Michigan, then start the Mountain West slate with San Diego State. We got Hey, Worthman. That's the shorter guy that was the backup last year, right?
Yeah, they had Nate Romine and then Worthman. Yeah,
Dude, Worthman is good. When he came in, I had bet on Air Force, and he's a hell of an athlete, big man. This guy can really work it. If he's healthy, I like Air Force a lot. I'm going to look to bet on him early.
Romine's more of a true quarterback. I mean, he's going to throw the football, and he's a little bit more agile, and he can throw the ball. Worthman is a dual threat quarterback. He needs to be better in the pocket. That's something he definitely needs to do. But yeah, you're right. I mean, with him starting for this team, 5 starts last year, they averaged 39 points a game. For them, it's not going to be about offense. They're going to be able to score. They run kind of that spread-ish type of offense. It's not the typical triple option, but they do, kind of mix in passes and that kind of thing. Defense is their problem. They've lost 12 of their top 13 tacklers. They're going to get tested early with Michigan, San Diego State, Navy, New Mexico. This is a tough schedule to start. I have them starting out 1-4. I think a lot of their wins are going to come early. I'm actually not very high on them. I think they're a 4-win team. I think their schedule's tough. I think they're going to have a tough time against Army. They're a better football team. Colorado State's better. Boise and Utah State, I think, are clearly much better, particularly Utah State. I think their only wins on the schedule, Drew, are BMI, UNLV, Nevada. Maybe you can win that game against New Mexico or Army, but I think if they can get to a bowl, I think with this schedule, I think that's a huge win. For me, though, they're more of an over team for me. I don't have much belief that they can stop anyone.
Their season win totals at 5. I actually think it's a good number. I'll take the other side, though. I know, and this is one of those, I want to see how their defense actually reacts in games like Michigan.
They lost a lot of players this year. Defensively, they weren't horrible last year. They had trouble stopping the pass, though, but they lost a lot of players. And Drew, I mean, I think when you really look at the schedule, I mean, where's 5 or 6 wins here? I mean, you're going to have to go and win against Wyoming or Army or Utah State. I mean, I guess I could see that, but that's only 4 wins if you add that into the ones I gave you already.
Well, I mean, going down and I guess siding on Air Force, the coin flip ones, VMI.
Yeah.
You got New Mexico, possibly. UNLV. Army, possibly.
There's a lot of toss-ups, man. I mean, a lot of those games are at home, which is good, but that Army or Air Force game is going to be a huge game. It usually always is. So I think they're all toss-ups. And when you bet, I mean, you shouldn't be betting on a lot of toss-ups. And I think this is a really – this team is just – there's a lot of question marks. They're not good defensively. And one thing I want to point out, Jalen Robinette, they had a receiver this year named Jalen Robinette. I know these military schools aren't big on throwing the football, but I got to tell you, I mean, losing a guy like that, that's a huge hole for this kind of team. There's none of that over the middle. You don't have the ability to throw to him now. He's not there. That's going to hurt as well. I'm not too high on this team.
All right. So, yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please give us a like button. It helps us out. And if you want to talk about anything, just go ahead here in the live chat. We'll change the title to a little like life talk as well. So whatever you guys want to get into. What do you want to talk about next, big man?
It doesn't matter to me. Whatever you want.
You want to talk about Matt Wells and driving Utah State program in the wrong direction?
Yeah, I don't think he is, but we can argue about that, I'm sure. I don't think he is. I think this program is going to be better than they were last year, and I'm going to tell you why. I think if you think they're going to be poor, I don't really know what you've looked at. I mean, they had a lot of close games last year. They lost 5 losses in conference by a combined 29 points. So I don't – I preferably like them a little bit more this year. Look, are they going to win this conference? No, but I think they're a 5 or 6 win team.
What he took over, they went 11-2, then 9-5, 10-4, 6-7, then last year 3-9. So the program's going in the wrong direction.
Right. I mean, but they have had 3 of 5 winning seasons. We have to remember, I mean, they've had a lot of injuries, and their quarterback situation. They've used like 3 or 4 different quarterbacks. Daryl Gerritsen left the program. I think he came into the program. He got injured. They've had a lot of injuries. Look, like I said, Drew, I don't think they're a great football team, and I'm not overly impressed with Matt Wells. But I think with some of the things they're looking to do, and like I said last year, 29 points combined in 5 losses in conference. They were right in a lot of games, and I think their schedule fits 5 wins. I think they beat Idaho State. I think at Wake is tough, but I mean, I could coin flip that maybe. San Jose, UNLV, I think they could beat Air Force possibly. Beat Hawaii at home, I could see that. I like Kent Myers. They're going to speed up this offense, make it a little bit more quick and fast. I don't mind Utah State.
So what, Yost is the new OC? He was a guy from Washington State in the Mike Leach coaching tree? He's coming in?
Yes, David Yost, yeah.
Okay. Your mom just walked by?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, I thought Vic was talking about here. I didn't know what he was talking about.
Oh, maybe he talked about, maybe he's talking about you, but yeah, what she was doing. She's very interested in what we're doing here. She always wants to like see who we're talking to. And,
really?
No, but I have like a really big porch next to where I'm at, so it faces the beach. So there's a TV out there, and
nice. You got a nice setup there.
I have a beautiful home here, man. I have to give a tour I should do that at some point. When they leave, they're leaving, I think, Saturday night. So I have to give a tour when they leave. I have an elevator, and that's pretty cool.
An elevator in your house?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes on the third floor overlooks the beach and the ocean. So sometimes my mother and father don't want to like carry bags up that high, so they just and it only adds value to the home when you sell it. So, my dad was like, "Fuck it, we'll throw one in."
Business must be good for the Nadeau household.
For him, it is, But I always wanted to do my own thing. So when a lot of people say to me, "Well, your fucking father and mother pay for everything." Not really. I mean, I've done all my own thing. So, but yeah, I'm very blessed with some of the things that I have. So I appreciate that. I can't help them. My parents work hard. I can't. I'm not going to lie and say they don't. They're good people, and they've always given me everything I could ask for. So
that's a good thing, not a bad thing, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Wyoming. Craig Bohl, one of the best coaches in the nation. I think you could argue he's the top 5 coach in the nation. Laramie, Wyoming, great home field advantage. Start off at Iowa. That's a game I can't wait to watch. That's going to be a great game. Obviously, when you think Wyoming, you think the quarterback position. Do you think Josh Allen's getting a little bit too much hype here, getting NFL draft and all this? He's good, but you think he's getting a little bit too much fanfare? BMOC?
Yeah, I definitely do. I definitely think. I mean, I think he's going to be good, but I think we have to remember. I mean, Tanner Gentry's gone as leading wide receiver, and Brian Hill's gone, and I think we have to remember. I mean, 3rd nationally last year, Brian Hill in rushing yards. I mean, he was really good, and they kind of, used him a ton more than you might think. You can't replace those kind of guys. You can't replace your safety blanket, if you will. I mean, Brian Hill was there. Tanner Gentry was there. They're gone now, and you have to find new weapons. There's a lot of pressure on this kid. There's a lot of pressure in this program. Last year, they were picked second to last in this conference. They ended up playing really well. Josh Allen vaulted into everyone's living room. And look, he's going to be very good. I think one thing they have to do is be better defensively. They returned 9 starters, and I hope they're better. But they gave up 34 points a game last year, a lot of yards. What they need to do is cut down their first down. Their first down defense needs to be better. They were putting teams in really good positions, way too much cushion. From what I understand, they're going to play more man-to-man as opposed to zone defenses, which I fucking hate. I can't stand zone defenses. The Eagles have played it for years at times, and I can't stand it. It's very irritating. I like more of a press man or a man coverage. They're going to do that. I think they're going to be pretty good, but I think there's a lot of pressure in a small town on a kid that really I don't know that many thought he'd be as good as he is. Their schedule early on, you mentioned they have Iowa. They'll beat Gardner-Webb. Oregon's a better football team that is at home. Their schedule's not too bad. They got Texas State, which is a guaranteed win. They get most of their tough games are on the road, which is kind of tough. I think Wyoming's kind of pieced in, Drew, to a decent, good team. I don't know if they're a great team. I don't put them – I think they're third or fourth in this conference. I think they're behind San Diego State, Boise, and Colorado State. Yeah,
I mean, we got Armin saying Mark Lawrence likes Wyoming. I love Mark Lawrence, great guy. I worry that you're a year late betting Wyoming. Last year was obviously the year to be betting Wyoming. It's just it has the market caught up.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly in that. And even last year, you didn't really know about them, so most people weren't betting them. Most people. I mean, and for good reason. I mean, Wyoming was a terrible football team in 2015. They were really, really bad. But last year was really a flash in the pan. They covered a lot of numbers, and I think you're totally right. I think if you didn't get on Wyoming last year, you're not going to surprise anyone betting them this year.
Right, and in that 2015 season, Josh Allen went down, so that was a big reason why.
And they had just no offense. They had no weapons. They had a defense that just got ravaged game after game. Yeah, they were a team in 2015 I bet against pretty often. They're a team that was really bad, but they're better.
We got Vig Simon saying, Drew, what's your opinion on the ghost of SBR building that offed himself there? I did not know that, so I don't have.
Good. Now you've told him about it, so now he's going to get scared. Why not just not tell him that? How does Vig know that and you don't?
I don't know. Did you know that?
No.
I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff, but I don't know. This office is really nice. It used to be it's a huge building that used to be a restaurant actually. So it's kind of cool how it's set up. Really? Yeah. When you come down, if you ever come down, when you're allowed to leave the country, you felon. There's actually a bar here, so it's cool.
Someday I'll be able to leave the country. Actually, very soon. Hopefully October.
Did you order your passport?
I'm in the process of getting the necessary items. The problem, Drew, in Pennsylvania is getting I have to get my original birth certificate, and it takes – when I ordered it, it was 30 to 35 days out to get it. So I'm waiting for the original birth certificate. I don't have my original birth certificate. So, and it's not something I can just drive and go pick up. It's in Western Pennsylvania. It would take 7 hours to drive there. So I'm waiting for that. Once I get that, it'll be pretty quick.
Okay. So you're not a felon then?
I'm not going to – I don't want to – let's just move on.
I'm joking, man. Sorry for putting you on the spot. What else we got?
We talked last night about this, Drew. Remember?
No, I was at the sports bar, so I got
You were that drunk after we did the show? You were that drunk?
Oh no.
I'll be there. I'll be there soon. I'm hoping October. That'll be when I come in.
Okay. We got Giorgio saying, "Save the money on the hooker. Place a bet."
Hey, shout out to Giorgio. He's a good listener. He's a big soccer guy. He listens to our soccer shows, which I got to say I really love doing. I'm glad they've allowed me to be in with their group. Drew, it's not easy to sell an American talking about soccer. It's not easy, but they've accepted me into the group, and I really enjoyed doing football with them. So Giorgio's a good listener. Appreciate him listening.
How are you doing in soccer overall?
Actually, in the Premier League, which is what we are touting in that show, I have the best record so far. 2 weeks in, I'm up 7 units, I think. So
damn.
I love the Premier League. It's my favorite league, so I study it with great care.
Do you like Stoke City? Bet 365.
No, Stoke's not a team I like to bet on. I will say this though: if you can get Stoke on a rainy day against Arsenal. I would bet them. I mean, they usually win that game, and they did last week. But they're not a game or team I usually involve myself with. It's funny though because one of my favorite soccer players is on Stoke, but I don't play them too much. But I have my favorite teams, and then my teams are just bet on.
Okay. Well, we also got Armin saying, read an article, San Diego State faves to win the West. Yes, absolutely. They are the best team in that
division. Always are. I mean, they've proven the most. They always win. They've always dominated this conference, and until someone dethrones them, why get in the way?
Yeah. Also, Armin or Vig saying, who cares about the Mountain West? No one cares about the Mountain West, it seems. I care about the Mountain West. Yeah,
I love the Mountain West. Vig, you talk a lot about like soccer, like MLS, which not a lot of people care about. How about them Eagles drew up 7-0 early, it looks like.
What about Alex saying, I'm guessing when we were talking about the Wyoming quarterback, Allen, he's saying he's only as good as his line. Yeah, I agree with you. Joe Everett saying BMOC and Drew, awesome combo for college football. Thank you, Joe. I agree.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, I like Drew's a good host. He's learning the game down by the best down there. So yeah, he's done well. We've done well with this. I love this show. I've been watching SBR podcast for 4 years, back when John Ryan, the guy who couldn't pick his nose, was on. I'm not sure who John Ryan is. I know everyone from the old SBR, and I've never. Who is John Ryan? I don't know who that is. Vig Simon. Do you know who that is? I don't even know who that is. I pretty much know every person that's ever been on SBR back 5-6 years ago, and I don't ever remember John Ryan ever. I'm not sure who that is, Drew.
Yeah, I don't know. Joe saying Vig Simon knows all the secrets. Vig was saying the restaurant owner committed suicide here. Yeah, man, I never heard that story.
Must have been a degenerate gambler or something.
Maybe. I don't know. But all right, Boise State. Boise, Idaho, Brian Harsin in his 4th year, 10-3 last year, the premier program of the Mountain West, at least for, the last decade or so. Last year, 10-3, the year before 9-4. Of course, in 14's the year they went 12-2. Brent Rippon, he may be the best quarterback in this, in this conference, and he's not getting a lot of play. How are you feeling about Boise State this year? Big man.
I'm usually always pretty down on them, and that doesn't change. I mean, they're a good football team. They always seem to be a good football team, but they don't win when it matters. And they always have these huge expectations, and they're going to win the conference and they're going to be there, but they're either not there or they fall short. They've won 31 games in 3 years, and they've been in this conference for 4 years and been to the Mountain West Championship once, and they lost. They just don't win big games, and you look at Rippon. I agree. I love Rippon. I think he's possibly the best quarterback in this conference, but you lose some weapons. You lose Spurbeck. You lose McNichols last year's with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You have some weapons still, Cedric Thompson and some others, but overall they definitely lost some playmakers on offense. And Drew, last year, defensively, they're always solid. They just don't create turnovers. Last year, just 9 turnovers. That's the lowest in school history. They have to do a better job of forcing turnovers. Their schedule's pretty tough. I mean, early on, you get Troy, Washington State, New Mexico, at BYU, at San Diego State. They have to go to Utah State. They got to go to Colorado State. Their schedule's really tough. I think there's huge expectations. There always are, but until they prove they can win, I'm not interested.
When you look at their schedule, they got a couple games that I don't think line up well. That New Mexico game, that's short rest for that offense. I don't like that matchup in week 3 at Washington State. What, you like Boise in the at Washington State, or you like Washington State?
I'm very high on Washington State. I've always been high on them. I think defensively they're going to be very good this year. They're much improved. I think Luke Falk is so underrated. I love him as a quarterback. I think that is a game they're going to lose. It's in Wazoo as well. I do think they're going to lose that. Don't sleep on Troy either. They're getting a lot of points in that game. I don't know if they'll win, but that's a tough game as well. There's no guarantee on the schedule other than Virginia, really, early on.
Yeah, and they get a good bye week before at BYU. I guess I'm looking to bet on Boise. What are you thinking for their season win total?
Yeah, it's at 8 right now at 5 dimes. I think that's about right. I would shade a little to the over, but if they can beat Washington State, I think they'll get there. But overall, I don't like it now.
Okay, South Point's hanging 8.5. So if you're looking to go over, probably 5 dimes is the place to go. And then the team that they'll likely be going head to head against for this division championship is Colorado State. The Rams, Mike Bobo in his 3rd year coming over from the University of Georgia in Fort Collins. They got the new stadium being built on campus. Supposedly it's really nice from what everybody's saying. And they're hosting Oregon State to open it up on Saturday. So, big man, what are you thinking about Saturday, and what are you thinking about Colorado State for the season?
I think for the season, I'm really high on them. I think they should challenge to not only win a bowl game, but compete in this conference. I think they could be the real surprise team here. Their over-under is actually something – it's one of the few on 5 dimes you can actually adjust, Drew. You can get under 7.5 or over 7.5 for a plus money price. I think offensively they're really solid. I mean, their quarterback's really good, Nick Stevens. Michael Gallup's a good receiver, and they have good running back as well. I think they're going to be a good over team. I'm skeptical about their defense. And this weekend, I'm also skeptical about this game. I don't know if I know they have a lot of expectations there with the new stadium and practice facility and all that, but I think overall Oregon State's gotten better too. I think in this game I would lean Colorado State, but it's out of the couple this weekend, the one that I have least interest in betting on. But I'm pretty high on them overall. Offensively, they're going to be really good. I just wonder, can they get better defensively? The rush defense was not good last year. And for that reason, I think they're going to be a good over team overall. Offense would be good.
Yeah, I agree. In this game, this is one I really have no idea either. Against Oregon State, the line of 4. I have no idea. I'm not going to bet this one at all. I'd stick to holy shit. 5. A couple shops just went to pick on the Hawaii UMass game, so might be sharp action coming back.
Big money coming in.
Hopefully you jumped on Hawaii. But yeah, it's Colorado State. I think it's going to come down to that Wyoming and Boise State game. Be interesting how they match up there. But I like Nick Stevens as a quarterback. Last year, remember how he started off slow, then actually got benched and then came back on. That's a situation where I look to bet on teams. He had that last year. But you brought up that Idaho game in the bowl game. That I don't know.
He actually wasn't even their quarterback going into the year. Colin Hill was the guy they were going to go with, but Stevens played real well. Yeah, the bowl game was a nutty game. It's Idaho, that Potato Bowl. That was an interesting game.
Yeah, I mixed up Nick Stevens and Colin Hill. So Nick Stevens came on after. You're right.
Yeah, Colin Hill towards ACL.
Yeah. But yeah, that Idaho game, I was on that over. That was nice. One of the few wins of bowl season.
111 points.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, I guess that's it, big man. What else do you want to talk about, guys? What else do you want to talk about?
We went through them all. No shit. I didn't even notice. I was too busy talking about other things. We went through everything. So yeah, I think overall, quickly, I'll say overall, I think it's San Diego State, and I think Boise will get there. I think overall their team is pretty good, but it's just hard to bet on them with such expectations every year so high, and you just never seem to get there. But Colorado State would be a good bet. New Mexico might surprise. I mean, New Mexico's 30-1 to win this conference. Hey, you never know. It could be a special year for Bob Davie and Lamar Jordan. So we'll see. Other than that, let's see what the chat box is saying. Mount West is great, but it's better with SBR Ghost and Jeff's mom. All right. Thank you. I like Troy plus 12.5 against Boise quite a bit. Yeah, but it is on the Smurf turf. It's it's a long drive or it's a long trip for those guys. Yeah, I haven't dug in a ton to the card in the actual week one. I'm taking it day by day. I've always been one of those people that bet games early, but I'm taking a different stance on stuff this year with the way I'm betting such early. I bet games sometimes through Sunday night, but I'm kind of waiting a little bit longer. Have a good video, Drew and Jeff. Adios. All right, Big, take it easy. Big Simon, an interesting character, Drew.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. I met him down here. What do you think he looks like?
I know what he looks like. He's tall with he always wears sunglasses. I've talked to him before. We talk a lot on the phone a lot. He has funny stories, man. He tells me because he's really tuned into SBR. SBR's his whole life. It seems like.
Where does he live?
He lives in the upper Northwest, think he lives in like the Washington area, I believe. I think Washington or Oregon, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's a funny character, man. He wants to create a movie about SBR, like the whole like history of SBR.
Yeah, man, you should be the main character in it, big man.
Yeah, we were figuring out who would play me in that movie. We've had Jonah Hill. We heard who else do we have?
Jonah Hill would be good.
Yeah, well, I could just play myself. Yeah.
Is acting in your future?
I would love that. Sure. I think Drew, with like acting and being a comedian and things like that. I think like I don't really find a lot of comedians funny. Like I think a lot of people, when they try too hard to be funny, they're not funny. I think being funny is just something that comes natural. Saying things and just the right laugh or whatever. Comedy, when you're funny, you're funny. Or when you're an actor, you kind of know. I think I'd be a pretty good actor. I feel like in the right role.
Jeff, you know what I think would be a perfect job for you? I can always remember driving home from I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, so driving home from like Dolphins games or Miami Hurricanes games or Marlins games, and people would call into the AM radio station and just like bitch about shit. I think you would be a good guy to be on the radio station, calling in, talking about like gambling and talking about
that's my dream, Drew. It's funny you mentioned call-ins. I've been a pretty big caller in the Philadelphia area for a lot of years. I don't do it as much anymore, but back in my glory days, I was a known caller. I was a known caller on Philadelphia radio stations, I had my shine for a while. But that's always been my dream to have like my own show and take calls and bitch to people and bitch at people and they bitch to me and like Mike Francesa, like what he does. That's like my dream. Like to have my own call-in show, talk about whatever I want. And just run with it,
So you've heard the slogans like long time listener, first time caller.
First time, long time, yeah. So.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. I love that, man.
What we say here, we say I'm a 4-for-4 guy. A 4-for-4 guy is you root for all 4 teams. I'm not a 4-for-4 guy because I root for the Yankees, but I'm a 3-for-4 guy. But yeah, I have all that shit now. I know when you're on the air. I know when you're not on the air. I definitely know. First time, long time is big here in Philly.
So when you say I'm a 4-for-4 guy, that means you're like Philly to the heart.
That means you root for the Sixers, Phillies, Flyers, and Eagles.
Like no matter what, you're in.
No matter what. Yeah, you're like a devout fan. You are Philadelphia, and it's cool though because I've been up to the radio station in WIP in the city, and I've made some friends there, and I've made some connections, and it's. Radio is a fun business, it's cool to like know people and be kind of, and that's what's cool at SBR because in like our own little way, we're like uber like gambling Twitter celebrities in a way. Like, like I that's one thing about IFBC that I kind of missed out on. It would have been cool to meet all the people and, you kind of meet the people and put names to faces and things like that. But Drew, to answer your question though, and your point, that is my goal to have like my own show and, it's a call-in show.
Yeah, no, that would be fun. I think we need to set that up. We probably should, but
yeah, whatever.
All right, man. Well, it was fun. Campus Connection was good, big man, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Yeah, we had some good times with doing these. It's funny. Did you change the title while we were on the air? Did you do that?
I did. Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't either. I was clicking around and I pressed edit, and it.
Now, Drew, when we first started this show, you said you wanted to talk about politics. I guess we're not doing that, huh?
You want to talk about politics, or should we talk should we? I want like a life advice show where like it's gambling oriented, but fuck it. We can talk about finances, politics, life, what's going on. I've pitched that idea. I'd love to do that. Sure. Nelson's saying go for it. I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody. So.
All right, we'll try to work it through the higher ups.
This is how shows get canceled. Doing shit late at offices when no one's there, and we just go on our own.
Well, see, the thing is, this is the last planned show of Campus Connection, so it is getting canceled.
That's true. Well, the show was more or less made for us to just break down preview videos. Like that's the name is just something we came up with, but we're not going away from SBR. We just it's. Sometimes, I think what's cool about you and me and everyone, most of us are all realistic people. We're all real. I mean, this is who I am. You know, I'm down at the shore with my parents. They're here, and you know, we're just chilling out. You know, and you're the same way. So yeah, I think that's what makes it cool. Like I don't live in Vegas. I'm not going to the fight this weekend. You know, I don't. You know, I think that's what's lost in the business that we're in. People are just not who they are. They pretend to be someone they're not, and I think all of us mainly pretty much are who we are. And I think that's, you know, all of our people here, I mean, we're no different than they are. So, yeah, I think life advice would be cool. You know, how you got into the biz, you know, how we all got into the biz, you know?
Yeah. And then people calling in with like what their issue is, either
I've been pushing that forever, man. I've been pushing the call in advice thing forever. I've been always on that.
All right. Well, let's go with it, bro. Hopefully we, yeah. And when we say Campus Connection is getting canceled, it's not like it was like awful. It's just, it was only planned to do previews of the G5 conferences. So
yeah, I mean, and we've achieved that. I mean, we've gotten through all of them, and you know, college football's, I know my thing. I know Drew loves it, so you know, we're gonna definitely we're doing it plenty.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm excited, and we'll be talking about college football a bunch this season. So check BMOC out. Check him out on Twitter as well at Jeff Nadeau. Thank you, Nelson, Joe Everett. What's up, man? Vig, everybody for chiming in, Armin, and yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Peace out.